What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with my college basketball Week 19 Top 25, a week before Selection Sunday. So a lot of these teams are probably going to get into the tournament, but let's get into it. Dropping from the rankings are San Diego State and USF. After a one-loss week for both of these teams, they find themselves dropping from the rankings, but they stay in the others receiving votes, along with teams like FAU, New Mexico, and Florida. 25 through 21, this is where a lot of these teams could be out of the rankings, in the rankings. They're all the same at this point. At least Dayton, Texas Tech, and BYU all have the case to be out, but in at the same time. And Dayton gets in along with Texas Tech because they had 2 wins last week, and a lot of those teams went 1-1. Washington State, the loss at home to Washington was not a shocker, but not one that I think I saw coming because they're at home and I thought they were going to get that win. Utah State is a team that I think is a sleeper team that could make a Sweet 16, possibly Elite 8 run because they are turning it on at the right time. And they have the Mountain West tourney. If they can come out victorious in that, then there's a lot to be said for this Utah State team. And then BYU, the loss on the road at Iowa State was a tough loss if they were there in that one, but they responded well on senior night with the win over Oklahoma State. 20 through 16, St. Mary's and Gonzaga, they stay put because they have games tonight, Monday night. That's going to be their first game of the WCC tourney. And if they both win, they face each other in finals. Kansas taking a big step back as well, get blown out by 30 on the road at Houston. And this team is 1-3 in their last 4 games, and that is not something you want going into your Big 12 tournament. South Carolina, tough games this week. Lost to Tennessee by 7 at home on senior night, and then go on the road, win in OT against Mississippi State by 4. South Carolina is a team that, like Utah State, could make a run here next week with it all starting, but it's just all about matchups for that team, especially because they do some things really well and some things really bad. Then Alabama, I'm staying away from this team. I think they're going to get upset. I don't care who they play. Alabama right now is not looking too good. The win in OT at home against Arkansas was eye-opening for me. I'm out on Alabama now, even after their huge loss on the road at Florida. 15 through 11, and another Mountain West team I'm high on, the Nevada Wolfpack. 2 wins to close the year. I think they're a 7-game winning streak right now, and 26-6 is nothing to frown upon there. They're the best team that I have ranked that's not in the non-Power 6 conferences, but Baylor, Marquette, Auburn, and Illinois round out the non-top 10 with all those teams besides Auburn having a win and a loss. And Auburn finishes strong with 2 wins, 2 dominant wins as well. And then Illinois, the tough loss to Purdue at home after they were in that one, but just couldn't get it at the end. And same with Marquette, just couldn't clinch it when it mattered most. 10 through 6, I think all of these teams are legit contenders for this year's tournament. Kentucky especially picking it up at the right time. And the win on the road at Tennessee was a huge one and really moved them up in the ranks as they have the SEC tournament. Creighton, the win by 2 over Villanova on the road is a tough place to play no matter how good they are, is a good win for them. And then Arizona, Duke, and Iowa State all went 1-1 last week. I think the biggest eye-opening loss was the Arizona loss at USC by 13 was not what I expected, at least. The Duke game was a great game till the end, so I didn't move them at all. And then Iowa State falls because of that loss on the road by 7 to Kansas State. 5 through 1, the only teams that jump into the top 5, obviously North Carolina, and they're starting to turn it on at the right. Baycott is looking great, and North Carolina is clicking on all cylinders. Tennessee, however, that loss to Kentucky drops them 1 spot, but they did win on the road at South Carolina, so they're staying in the top 5. And then 3 through 1 stay the same because they both had 2 wins last week and both got wins over ranked teams, as they're all 28-3, which are very respected in their conference. And this year, I think, maybe it's Purdue's year after last year. Who knows? UConn looking like a legit chance to run it back, and then Houston looking to finally get it done. That's going to be it for my top 25 week 19. Check back for after March Madness for my top 25, as next week will be all March Madness coverage. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.